Issei would form his armor on both of his arms, his left arm creating a shield while his right arm created a sword as he went charging towards Damien. With a swing of his blade, he prepared to bring it down upon the would-be sorcerer, only for his attack to be blocked by a mystic shield. So, this is the power of the sacred scarab of Capri, the power of assimilation, of evolution. And yet you can't even manifest the full armor. What? Having a hard time achieving balance breaker? Well, then again, you know what they say about peak performance and all that. Yeah, really is a pain. I don't even have to go all out to defeat you. Issei would quickly change his blade into a blaster, shooting it point blank right at the shielding magic. It was powerful, but not enough to break through his defenses. Neat little trick, kid. But let me show you how it's done. Damien would fire off an attack of his own, knocking Issei far across the forest, slumping him straight against a tree. That right there is almost 500 years worth of dark magic. And believe me, it took a lot of effort to get it. I've had to fight a lot of powerful people. I've had to kill a lot of people to get the power that I have now. But you, no, you're still wet behind the ears. Can't tell your left from your right. And you think that coming at me over and over again is going to make a difference. Issei would turn both of his metallical arms into cannons, firing double shots straight towards Damien, only for the attacks to be blocked and redirected right at Issei, as he had to form a shield just to protect himself. You don't know the half of it, kid. Now, I understand. Really, I do. Raven, Rachel, whatever you want to call her, she's your friend. And I'll even admit, up until now, you've done a bang up of a job protecting her. But I am what she needs. More than anything right now. If you truly care about the world, about everything, your friends, you need to let her go. And why would I do that? Giving her up to some strange, creepy old man? That's Stranger Danger 101. Issei, you need to take this seriously, the scarab would tell him. You think I'm not? All I gotta do is throw him off his game, and I'll hit him with something he won't see coming. This man is a practitioner of the mystic arts. His experience trumps anything you're capable of, and you still can't achieve balance breaker yet. So what am I supposed to do? Just run away? No, you're not supposed to run, but you need to be smart. Otherwise, you are going to die. Well, won't that just make your day? You'll finally be able to find a new host. If you can't take this seriously, then perhaps I'm better off with a new host. Yeah. You just make the weapons and make sure they hit really hard. I'm going back in. Issei would begin to create the Beetle wings on his back, pushing himself to his absolute limit, increasing his speed as he went charging towards Damien, as he created a dual sword. With each blade in hand, he would go for a double slash right towards him, only for Damien to form a sword from darkness, catching both of the blades and knocking him back. You don't know the first thing about swordplay, but please, allow me to enlighten you. Rule number 1. You always have to make sure that you keep your defenses up. Damien would parry and block against Issei's sword strikes, not moving from his position as Issei tried to strike him from every direction. As long as your footing is firm and your foundation is quiet, then you'll never have to worry about anyone knocking you off balance. But you can do that to your opponent. Damien would slash away at Issei's leg, causing him to fall over, before immediately moving in with a slash of his own, cutting one of his metallic wings. You lack focus. Without focus, your blade can't be precise. And when your blade's not precise, you'll miss your target every single time. There now, you're getting it. You're getting it. Now, personally, I would suggest not fighting with two swords if you're not even good with one sword. I mean, seriously, what's two swords going to do? You might have double the cutting power, but you're not landing any shots. Issei would go swinging wildly with his blades once again, Damien cutting him, leaving a slash at a time. Let's play a game, shall we, Issei? I think it's only going to take me 100 slashes to kill you. Right now, I'm already at 7. So, if I'm a betting man, I like my odds here. But hey, if you want to double down, then by all means, come on. Let's keep playing this game. 8, 9, 10. 90 more to go. Come on now. Make this a little challenging for me. Yep. Ooh, good. 11, 12, 13. Your heart's starting to beat now, Issei? This would be a lot harder if you could manifest your balance breaker. But since you can't, I don't have all day. So let's double it now, shall we? Yep. Ooh, good. Right there. 13, 14, 15. Ooh. Almost got me there. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. This is pathetic. You're really not learning your lesson, are you? 21. I wonder what's going to kill you first. The shock, the blood loss, maybe losing a couple of limbs. Don't forget, that's also an option here. Oh man. You look like you are fucked up, son. Seriously. Did Zazel not teach you anything at all? I mean, I expected a lot more. But then again, you are a child, so what exactly am I supposed to get? Issei would swing his blade once again, but this time transforming it into a grappling hook, grabbing hold of Damien's blade and pulling him forward, before turning his free hand into an energy cannon, launching it point blank in Damien's face before firing off a massive shot. Damien would now be sent reeling back, the others watching on as they continued fighting against both Kuroka and Byakuya. How was that, you smug bastard? Ooh, not bad. Not bad at all, Issei. So, that was your plan. Getting your ass kicked over and over just to get off a cheap shot. What should I expect? All of that for a minimal gain. But, at the very least, you are unpredictable. Foolish, but unpredictable. Now, let's run that back, shall we? The beatdown that Issei proceeded to get would be excruciating and painful. Despite his best efforts, he couldn't land any significant strike against Damien. He was truly outskilled, outmatched, and outclassed. Rias was now starting to become worried. Kuroka had them on the defensive. Byakuya wasn't giving them a chance to let up. And Issei, he was going to die. He found himself lying on the ground, unable to summon any more weapons from the scarab, as Damien stood over him with his foot planted firmly on his chest. Yeah, getting hard to breathe, isn't it? I know. But consider this a learning experience. And I'm not talking to you, Issei. I'm talking to the scarab. Maybe next time your goddess will choose a better champion. My humble apologies. I know you're capable of doing so much more than this. Honestly, I don't know what she was thinking when she chose a loser like him. It's gotta be humiliating. You have all this power, all this capability, and yet you're stuck inside the body of a perpetual loser. An idiot that can't get it. I mean, I'd lose my mind too if I was one of the most powerful of the Longinus ever created. And I went from fighting with heroes, kings, scholars, people that were actually about something. You know, I met against some of your predecessors, and let me tell you, they were truly the stuff of a legend. But now, oh, how the mighty have fallen. But don't worry, I'll put you out of your misery now. Azorat, Metreon, Zenthos! Immediately, the figure of a dark raven would protrude out of Raven's body as it jutted straight towards Damien Dark, forcing him to create a defensive barrier to protect him from the attack. An attack that proved to be mightier than anything he had been hit with so far, even managing to break through and forcing him on the defensive end. Stay away from him. You need to calm down, Rachel, Damien would say. I'm not your enemy here, and like hell you are. You say that you want what's best for me, but yet you're the one that's attacking my friends. I didn't ask for you to come here. I don't even know who the hell you are. And I don't need you. You need me more than you'll ever know. What? You think they can protect you? You need to wake up to reality. You need to understand the truth. You're nothing but a pawn to the Grimmery household. All they want is to keep you under control. Your power is what's valuable to them, not you. If you weren't who you were, do you really think they'd give a damn? Even this brat here. Do you really think that for 1 second they would entertain his foolishness if he didn't have the power of the scarab? Something that could be at their disposal. All that they care about is adding power to their houses. That's how they've been since the Great War ended. And you're the crown jewel. Any devil faction would want you. Then what are you after? Why do you want me so bad? Because I made a promise. I made a promise to your mother, Rachel. You what? I know who your mother was. And I know who you are. Your mother, Angela, Damien would say. She was one of the most beautiful women that I had ever met. I did everything in my power to try to save her. But I couldn't. And I promised that I would not fail her daughter. That's why I've come all this way. I'm trying to help you. How? How do you know? How did you? I loved her. I loved her more than you could possibly imagine. Look, Rachel, what happened back then, I never meant for it to. You're lying, Raven would say. You can't possibly know her. No, you're lying. You're just trying to deceive me. I promise you, I'm not trying to. Stay back. Stay away. Stay. Raven, I need you to back off. A dark energy would start to emanate from Raven's body as it began to start to overwhelm her. Issei would get to his feet once again, seeing what was happening. Damien, desperate to try to keep her safe, to keep her under control, would begin to use binding spells to hold her in place. As Raven yelled out in pain, the power was starting to shake the very foundation of the ground, knocking everyone back. For Koniko, seeing one of her close friends in such agony, it caused her to overcome the doubt that she had within herself. Right now, her friend needed her, and she couldn't allow the troubles of the past to weigh her down any longer. As two cat-like tails and cat ears appeared upon her body, she began to embrace her sage powers as she looked to Rias. And for Rias herself, she was in awe of what Koniko was able to achieve. Koniko, you were... Right now, we need to help Raven. Her power, it's starting to leak. A negative aura. Is it her? No. I think it's Trigon. The seal. It's starting to crack. We need to control her mental state. For Issei, as he saw Raven in the state that she was, an overwhelming sense of uselessness had come upon him. Was he that pathetic that he couldn't do anything right now? It was always like this, time and time again. First with Raynair, then with Kokabeel, then with Volley, and now this. Constantly needing others to save him, never being able to do what was needed. He was pathetic. Pathetic. Was he really that lousy of a scarab user? Was he really that incompetent? He could feel this fire, a flame that was burning inside of his own bones. From the tips of his feet to the top of his head, he felt this overwhelming sensation, like a dam that was about to burst forth. He felt this swelling of power. He just had to unleash it. He cried out inside of his soul. What do I have to do? What do I have to do to be stronger? Just tell me. Tell me! It's been inside of you all along, Issei. But are you going to step up or not? You know what you must do. The power has always been within you to do it. All you have to do is give over. Unleash yourself. Focus on what you really want and take it. Do not ask for it. Do not beg for it. That is beneath you. When are you going to raise your head? Issei found himself in a void of darkness, bowing. Why do you continue to subjugate yourself? Why do you continue to kneel? That is what I hate the most about you. You talk about what you want, but you beg others to help. You talk about what you will be, and yet you need others to confirm it. Do you not understand the power that you possess, the power that lies within you? That power has always been there. It has always been yours. But yet you have such a weak view of yourself, such a weak view in your own mind, that your only limit is you. You have been holding yourself back. All you must do is step forward. Claim what is rightfully yours. Take the power. Take it. Take it. Take what's mine. As Damien was continuing to try to hold Raven back, along with the others trying to assist, a sparkling light of blue would appear around Issei, as the metallic armor of the scarab started to form around his body. Now, balance breaker, scale mail. The truly awakened blue beetle had finally emerged. Issei would immediately fly over to Raven as he took hold of her hand, feeling the dark aura that was emanating from her. The power to assimilate, to absorb, to evolve. I will take it. That is the burden I bear. There is no power I cannot overcome. Issei would absorb the darkness, all of the dark aura, until finally Raven would subside. And now the power of darkness would assimilate to his body as he turned to Damien, fully enveloped in the armor of the blue beetle. So, you finally achieved balance breaker, huh? Issei raised his left arm as it turned into a cannon. Go to hell. Issei fired off a massive shot of energy. This time, Damien would have no choice but to create multiple defensive barriers, and the shot broke through each one of them, knocking him back into the trees, breaking them in half as he went colliding into each one. Issei then turned to both Kuroka and Beetle as he raised the cannon towards them as well, firing off a massive shot of energy, causing them to have to evade. It seems that the blue beetle has finally evolved and has taken its true form, Beetle would say. Why does it matter? It's still 3-on-1. We can take him. No, we can't, Damien would say. Right now, he's supercharged with a portion of Trigon's energy. The best thing we can do is fall back. Are you serious? Kuroka would say. We've come too far to stop now. Cowards. Issei would go flying straight towards Damien Dark, creating a new technoblade imbued with the dark energy, as Damien would create a dark blade of his own and the two would clash. Now you have a taste of the darkness, Damien would say. You feel what type of power she's truly capable of. And even now, you can barely control yourself. Imagine what she has to deal with every day, Damien would say. Tell me, if she loses control, what will you do? Huh? Or are you at a loss for words and shut up? If you ever come near her, or any of my friends ever again, I will not hesitate to destroy you. Big words coming from a child. We'll see. When the time comes, you'll be begging for my help. Damien would push back between the both of them as he, Kuroka, and Byakuya would disappear into the night. Issei found himself awakening on the ground, unsure and unable to recollect what had taken place. He found himself in the arms of Rias Grimmery, with both Raven and Koneko around him. What happened? Issei would ask. You did it, Issei, Rias would say. You achieved your balance breaker, Koneko would tell them. And you managed to fend off the enemies, Raven would say. What? I did all that? But It's true. Issei heard a voice in his head. You managed to unlock a balance breaker, so congratulations. But you and I need to talk later on. What about? It's about Raven. More so, about what you did to her. Wait, what I did to her? Issei thought. Hold on, did I do something? Not like that, you pervert. Seriously. Later. As they were returning back to the mansion, they would get the aftermath of what had happened after Loki crashed the party. Safe to say, Loki's attempts of a rebellion were short-lived. Even in a drunken stupor, John Constantine didn't have a problem dealing with the Norse god of trickery. As such, Loki was imprisoned and was being shipped back to Asgard, where Odin would dish out fine and worthy punishment. And the treaty was signed. So it seemed like any attempts to foil their alliance from the Chaos Brigade had been brought to an end. Even more so, hearing about how everyone else performed in the battle. From Akano to Zatanna to Kiba, Zenobia, and everyone else in between. They had all done a fine job in protecting the people of the function, as well as helping to fend off against Loki and his forces. But now, they had something more attentive to worry about. As Rias would explain what happened in the forest with Koneko and Raven in their run-in with members of the Chaos Brigade. But more so, with Damien Dark. Huh? Run that by me again, Constantine asked. You said you ran into Damien Dark. That's what he called himself, Issei would say. This is troublesome. You know him? Rias would ask. Do I know him? Of course I do. I've had my fair share of run-ins with Damien Dark through the years. He's a powerful little booger, he is. You could say that when it comes to power, he's always nipping at my heels. But who's the strongest? Kiba would ask. If it's about pure power and who's the strongest, you're obviously looking at him. But that doesn't mean he's someone you should take lightly. He's a crafty bastard, that Damien. He's always meddling around in something, always trying to gain power, and always at anyone else's expense. And you're saying that he had sights on Raven. Yeah, he was trying to recruit her for some reason. It seemed like he made a deal with the Chaos Brigade, but I don't think they're working together, Rias would tell him. All the same, we need to stand on guard. If Damien's snooping around, then it's only a matter of time before he makes his move. This is troublesome. Always troublesome. Still good. But what should we do now, though? Zatanna would ask. First we had to deal with Loki, and now there's Damien Dark in the mix. I don't think that any of this could be a coincidence, and I don't like too many powerful foes showing up all at once. Guys, Raven would speak up. With all appreciation, I feel like you're all doing too much. What do you mean? Asya would ask. All of this is because of me, right? Then maybe I just need to go. I seem to just keep attracting all of these people and you don't have to go anywhere, Issei would say, with a serious tone of voice. They're just a whole bunch of jerks that don't know when to back off. And I think it's time we make them. Issei, Rias would say. I'm serious. People like them are never going to stop. They'll always keep coming, time and time again, because they think we're weak, that we can't fend for ourselves. The fact that they even think that they can just keep coming at us over and over again, it's starting to get on my nerves. So why don't we just take an offensive against them? Damien Dark, the Chaos Brigade, any rogue, all at once. That's not a bad idea, Azazel would say. But you just be giving them what they want. The Chaos Brigade are looking to expand their power, to test their limits, to fight. At least some of them are. I'd say that they're no more than a ragtag team of rogues with each member having their own ideas and dreams. Of course, they're in alliance with Orphis, who wants to steal the vicinity where Great Red occupies. But even then, there are also other things you have to worry about. If you want to start attacking at the Chaos Brigade, you'd just be inciting more war. The best thing we can do is form a united front, strong but indestructible. They need to know that we're not going to play their games of chasing after them 24/7. But if they keep trying to attack, they won't get what they want. So what, we just stay around and we do nothing? That's not what I'm suggesting. You've all gotten a lot stronger in this last month, but there's still a lot farther for all of you to go. And congratulations on achieving your balance breaker, Issei. It's nice to see that you and the Scarab have finally decided to start leveling up. But you've only just scratched the surface of what you're capable of. Keep training and keep growing stronger. And in time, you'll get where you need to go. Maybe. But by then, it could be too late. Eventually, summer vacation would come to an end, and the next school year would start. Issei found himself staring lazily out the window when suddenly the whole classroom would be called to attention, as apparently they had new transfer students. The first, Irina Shido. Second, Shaira Hall. And third, Michael John Carter. But he would prefer just to be called Carter. But as Issei knew them, Irina and Shaira, the angel and the angel/dragon empress, and the man from the future, Booster Gold. Later on that evening, everyone would gather together in the Occult Research Club as Rias would welcome their new guest. Azazel explained that due to the ongoing threat of the Chaos Brigade, he felt like they needed some extra hands. As such, he sent Irina, Shaira, and Carter to help serve in their fight against the Chaos Brigade. Of course, out of all three of them, Shaira was the most disgusted, primarily because of that stupid rule that Sir Zex had made. She'd have to be living in the human world, and with Issei Hyodo of all people. Issei could tell that he wasn't in good standings with the Red Dragon Empress, despite trying to put his best foot forward. Shaira was a woman of all business and was not someone to play around with stupid games, and the issei seemed to be fond of stupid games. Plus, it didn't help matters that she had the power of the red dragon Dreg, the power to absolutely annihilate anyone, and she had no qualms with using that power whenever she saw fit. So now, on top of dealing with eggshells around Zatanna, because of whatever John Constantine was likely to threaten him with, there was also a girl who, well, if he tried any of his antics, he was going to be catching Ascalon straight up where the sun don't shine. But for now, besides staying on guard for the Chaos Brigade or Damien Dark or any other big bad of the week who decided they wanted to show themselves, they were also getting ready for the upcoming school sports festival, where everyone was going to be taking part. Even Raven, who didn't normally care for these kind of things, was getting into the festive spirit, as she was going to be entering one of the competitions herself. Of course, the competition was bread eating, and no one expected her to really even go very far, but at least she was showing some school spirit. As for Issei, he was going to be competing in a 3-legged race with Asya. And, well, that went about as well as you could have imagined it would go. I mean, when it came to Issei and Asya, they got along well enough. It wasn't lost on anyone that Asya had great feelings for Issei, and Issei, while he was a bit skittish at times because he held Asya and all the girls in high regard, Asya was especially sweet and innocent, and he never wanted to be the one to seem like he was trying to take advantage of her kind and nice nature for his own gain. But he'd be lying if he said that she didn't make him feel any sort of arousement. And that arousement would be put to the test, as when Issei and Asya were going to the club sports room to gather a new rope for the 3-legged race, they found themselves getting bamboozled. And it was with Zenobia. Of course, Issei knew that whenever Zenobia came crawling around, it was bad news. Zenobia was more of a freak than anything else, even compared to the likes of Rias and even Akino, because the girl was just flat out about what she wanted, and she didn't care when or where. So you can imagine Issei's surprise when he found himself cornered in a club room as Zenobia was going on and on about a devil's 3-way, although Issei was pretty sure that wherever she got that idea, it wasn't going to go the way she thought it was. One thing led to another, and the next thing Issei knew, he found himself lying on an old mat with 2 girls straddling atop of him. Tops had come off, and now a smorgasbord of, well, round mounds were for the handful, Issei grabbing a hold of both Asya and Zenobia. Now, of course, at this point in the story, we have to try to keep it as PG as possible, so I can assure you that everyone still remained chaste, and no virginity was lost in this exchange, although a lot of mounds were definitely squeezed and groped, and it didn't help when the door flung open and Shaira and Irina had arrived, mainly because they were looking for a new hula hoop for the contest, but when they saw what was taking place, well, Irina just turned away in shock and shame, and for Shaira, she just had a look of disgust. Pervy scarab. Huh? Why you gotta call me something like that? Issei would say. There was also someone else that was staying with them for the meantime, that being Rosvisa. Primarily because Odin, in the midst of everything that was going on, had decided to go to the human realm for a little bit to get some R&R, although really that just meant he was going to the titty bars in Kyoto, and in the midst of his adventures, ended up leaving Rosvisa the Valkyrie behind. So now Rosvisa was abandoned by her boss and stuck in a home not too far away from a rather rude and luxurious man. He just left me, like always. It's like I'm just not worth keeping around, it seems. Yeah, don't act like you wanted to go back with him anyway, Constantine said as he sat on the couch opposite of her, enjoying a mid-evening drink. Don't you have anything better to do with your life? I could think of a few things. And I could use a partner, if you're interested. Oh, please. You'll go up anything that has a skirt and legs. Hey, now. I am respectable. And besides, you're acting like we never had any good times. After all, it's not just Monica I'm referring to. What are you talking about? You keep bringing up stuff that never... 1992. Vegas. You heard me. 1992. Vegas. You remember. A nice, humid August. You and I in the Blackpool Casino. You know the one. With the motel in the back on 3rd and 9th. Oh yeah, you were quite feisty that day. Ended up breaking the bed in half when you threw on your armor and... Shut up! You weren't supposed to tell anyone about that! Wait, Azazel would say. So you do know who Constantine is. And that means... Hold on. That means Monica happened. That means Vegas happened. Wait, what about that third time? You told him about the third time? Rose Risa would ask frantically. Well, it might have just... I'll kill you! Rose Risa then jumped across the room and landed on Constantine, grabbing a hold of him by the throat as she was starting to rattle him for dear life. You promised you'd never tell anyone about the third time. Why would you do that, you irresponsible? If it makes you feel better. Yeah, choke me out of here. You jerk. Oh, damn, you got a hell of a left hook, you Valkyrie. You asked for it. Q. All right. Listen, I'm going to subscribe to both of you to a counselor that I know, Azazel would say as he wrote down the number. Here, you two need to go and sort all of this out. There's nothing to sort out. He's a terrible man. A terrible, terrible, terrible man. He's awful. How the hell is he the guardian of Earth? I will never believe for 1 second that you are capable of rivaling the 4 great devil kings and Azazel in combat, as well as Lord Michael. I mean, seriously, how does someone like you even get this strong? You don't take anything serious, you never train, you laze around, you drink, you gamble, you're disgusting. You are the worst kind of person, and I just... See? She can't stop going on and on about me because of the way she feels. You are I'm going to my room. Don't worry. I'll be up there to give you a pucker or a good night kiss. And if you come to my room, you're going to catch an arrow of light right through the head. Take your best shot. You definitely know how to upset her, don't you? It's not like I try to. You know, I really wanted things to work out the 5th time around. I don't know, the 6th time it was a little but then the 7th time it's just... How many times have you... More times than you can count, Azazel. Okay, and this is where I stay out of it. By the way, have you heard about the news? What now? One of the members of the royal family was assassinated last night. And who was it? Theodora Astaroth of the Astaroth family. Someone actually managed to kill Theodora? Now I've heard it all. Last time I checked, he wasn't much of a fighter, now was he? More of a lecherous devil than anything else, but it's something that Sir Zex is taking seriously, because it means that someone managed to break into the territory of the underworld undetected and killed a royal noble. When they find out who's responsible, it's gonna lead to a lot more trouble. You don't think the Chaos Brigade were behind it, do you? I doubt it. I don't know what they would even gain from killing him. But still, you never know what the Chaos Brigade are capable of. But for now, we need to keep our eyes peeled. We don't know who or what they could be after next. Yeah, you're right about that. I gotta fly out tonight anyway. Really? Why so? I've gotta head to the good old US of A. There seems to be a growing fire, and I've gotta put it out. A growing fire? In the United States? What could it be? Some type of rogue demon infestation or something along those lines? No. It seems like an organization is starting to be put into the works. Organization? Yeah. An organization that we thought was long since dead. But now it's re-sprang up again. It's troublesome all the same. But when I heard the name of who was involved, I knew I couldn't turn from it. And who is it? Our good old pal, Sebastian. Yeah, he seemed to have had a couple of offspring. Sebastian? Azazel would say. The Sebastian. That's who we're talking about? Who else could it be? Although technically, he goes by Sebastian the Ninth. But I hear he goes by another alias these days. Tell me, when's the last time you heard of Brother Blood? This concludes High School DxD Fallen Hero. What if Issei was the Blue Beetle? Season 3, Part 3. As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that is to come out now and in the future. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video as we continue with High School DxD Fallen Hero. What if Issei was the Blue Beetle? Season 3, Part 4. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. Signing off, and I'll see you next time.